Why is oral care such a boring category? Where's the fun in it? It's the question that we started asking, and that's why we decided to launch a brand that marries all three of those principles: clinically backed, science-backed, and also fun.
In terms of you guys, as Laughland, differentiating yourselves from the products that already exist, have you had to educate your consumers in why your product is better?
You can get the same experience you can get at the dentist, but instead of paying hundreds of dollars, just pay us, $59 one time. If you're on subscription, you can pay $30 and then get started. And we've had to do a ton of education around it. And we've done that with the help of press, with the help of dentists that are willing to go on camera and vouch for the product and explain. The marketing angle on the differentiation that has really worked out well for us is telling, hey, whatever you can buy from Crest or for another, competitor out there, that's one size fits all. You're actually using something weaker than what you can actually tolerate.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. My name is Andres Figueira and I'm going to be your host for the day. This show is brought to you by the Global Talent Company, helping fast-growing teams hire exceptional remote talent from Argentina, South Africa, and beyond. We connect companies with world-class professionals who bring skill, reliability, and global perspective to every role. And just for our listeners, we're offering an exclusive 10% discount on your first hire. All you need to do is visit theglobaltalent.co, click Start Hiring, and mention the podcast listener discount when we get in touch. And today, with me here, I have Sangwook Park, Chief Executive Officer at Laughland, a company that has brought the world's first and only personalized teeth whitening kit. So, it's saying that you can have brilliant results in at least and as little as 5 minutes a day. So, Wookie, how's it going, man? It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Likewise, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for reaching out. I'm excited that we could do this.
No problem at all, man. No problem at all. I'm super happy to hear about your story and everything that Laughland is. So, with that said, Wookie, would you be able to give the audience a bit more context and tell us a bit more about your background and in your own words, what Laughland is?
In terms of my background, it's pretty unique because I didn't come from an exactly, super dental focused background. I don't have I'm not a dentist. And I didn't have, years and years of dental training, that, a lot of people ask me, is like, why did you start Laughland? Why are you working on this? Do you have a dentistry background? And the question is, the answer is no, I don't. But what I did have a background in was right after college, I worked at a consumer growth equity fund. We were investing in companies like Olaplex, Curology, Augustinus Bader, a bunch of really exciting consumer brands that have defined categories. And, while I was working there, it was always kind of sitting on the back of my head was, why don't I do something like this? Why am I at the other side of the table? So that's when I decided to really, dive, headfirst into Laughland, which was really a passion project that kind of started blossoming while I was graduating from school. We were exploring concepts. We were exploring, why is dental care, why is oral care such a boring category? We have so much innovation and so many fun products and brands come for skin care to hair care to nail care now. But we didn't really see anything that was both clinically focused and science-backed, but approach it in a fun way. I think you get, in the oral care space, you get legacy brands that are science-backed, tons, years, decades of clinical research to back it. Or you get a ton of, kind of gimmicky TikTok shop focused brands that are really going in for a marketing kill rather than creating products that would stand the test of time. So, I thought oral care was such a fun category, but didn't have enough fun in it. And, it's all about creating the best smile for yourself, right? It's all about smiling. It's all about, spreading happiness. That's what this category should be about. It's where you speak. It's where you smile. It's the focus of your day-to-day experiences. But where's the fun in it? It's the question that we started asking, and that's why we decided to launch a brand that marries all three of those principles that I was talking about: clinically backed, science-backed, and also fun. Like it does not have to be boring. They figured it out in skincare. They figured it out in makeup, how to do, real products that work super well in a fun format. So that's why we decided to do this. And I guess, yeah, for with Laughland, we thought the best approach was mimicking the dentist's experience and bringing it at an affordable price. We wanted oral care to be affordable and accessible to anyone. Right now and even today, even like a 20 pack of strips that you buy in CBS can set you back $60. It's very, very pricey, and it's priced that way because there's not a lot of innovation or challenges in the category. So we said, why don't we mimic the whole dentist experience where you go in, they know what you can handle, what you can't handle, and they prescribe you the right formula for it. So we decided to build that algorithm in the back end and decide to match customers to the right formula. Because, for example, members of my team, our team is full of people who can't bite into ice because it hurts them so much because they have sensitive teeth. I'm like bathing in ice cream. Like I don't mind having, any sensitivity, nor do I feel much. So it doesn't make sense that what works for you should work for me because we have different areas of tolerance. There's a lot of science that goes into what chemicals work and don't, depending on if you have a crown or veneers or things like that. So these are questions that a dentist asks you and figures out what the right formula, what the right percentage of formula works for you. But if you go right now to a shop or retailer website, it's all one size fits all. So that's why we were like, you know what? It's not that hard of a question, set to figure out what really works for you versus me. So we decided to mimic that, create that algorithm, and with the help of dentists, and then we decided to launch it. And, it's been 4 years now since Laughland has officially launched. And, we have a lot of customers. We have over 200,000 customers that, have tried Laughland and love it today. So we're happy to report that our method, I think, is working.
That is so cool, Wookie. And I love how you were able to see like this gap in the whole industry, in the dental industry, that I do agree with you that when I see dental products, they just look clinically backed and scientifically proven that they function, but it's not creating any type of emotion in me. It's like, I think I need it. It's a bit expensive, so I might just skip it. And in terms of the customization that you guys offer, did you obtain, and I imagine you did, like you have the support from different dentists that make sure that the algorithm you guys provide to the consumer is accurate and it is properly it is properly prescribed the levels that they need for the whitening product they want?
Yeah. So we've worked with multiple dentists. Like even if you go on our socials, you'll see some of the dentists that we work closely with featured on there. From the actual formulation itself, like what goes into the whitening ingredient, what whitening formulas, we worked with dentists all the way down to the actual questions that we ask you on our website and the algorithm that goes through it to match it. It's just been the whole process from A to Z has just been working with experts to make sure that we know what we're giving you, and we don't want to give you anything that the dentist wouldn't, right? So,
of course. And in terms of the algorithm you guys have and how you make sure that you can provide the proper responses to your customers, do you guys leverage AI in getting all that done?
No, so I mean, this was, I guess, before all the AI tools came into play. So we used machine learning to build that out, but now we use a little bit of AI to optimize the experience as well. We're starting to incorporate it more and more, but I wouldn't say that the core products, the core algorithm behind it is AI powered for now.
That is refreshing because nowadays I've spoken with so many companies that like the backbone is built on AI. That is really cool that you guys had done it before and you're looking on how to make it integrate better with what you guys already have. That's really cool. And Wookie, in terms of the quantity of customers that you guys have, you mentioned you have 200,000 people that have used your product now.
Yeah. So we crossed the 200,000 mark in October 16th, like just around a month ago.
Wow. Okay. And are those customers that are returning to keep on buying the whitening kit because they need to do this every now and then? Or is it just a one-time customer that you don't see later on?
Yeah, it's a really healthy mix. We have a ton of customers that will try it out and keep returning every 3 months, every 6 months, whenever they feel like they need to, brush up on their whitening. Because truth be told, even if you go to the dentist, no matter what type of whitening you get, it will get you to a certain point where you're happy with your smile. But depending on how much coffee you're drinking, how much wine you're drinking, how many, dark acidic foods or drinks that you're consuming, it's going to start reverting back. So just like how skincare works, you got to keep touching it up. It's not a one and done process. So yeah, we get it. We get a healthy amount of repeat customers come in.
I haven't used a whitening kit in I don't even know how long, man. But when I'm
Oh
seeing
God, we're going to have
Laughland,
to send you one.
I'm dying for one. Only thing is that I'm in Argentina, so I'm not sure if you guys
We
are
ship
shipping.
worldwide. We've had
Oh,
the
for
craziest.
real?
We even sent a kit to Kandahar Air Base in Afghanistan before,
Wow.
without us knowing. I only know because we were charged like $31 for shipping for it, and I was like, "What was this for?" The team was like, "Yeah, it was at a U.S. Air Force base in Afghanistan." But
Okay.
you have customers in Singapore, Qatar, Brazil, Colombia, all over Europe, Morocco,
Dude,
Australia.
that is so nice. And how long ago did you guys be able to start shipping worldwide? Because I imagine you started in the States, got steady there, and then started to branch out.
Yeah, so we started really doing international almost involuntarily in the beginning. There were a couple of articles that were posted about us from press that I guess got picked up um, by readers from all over. So we started getting a healthy amount of orders from the UK since the very beginning of our journey. The United Kingdom accounted for almost 10% of like our customer base in the beginning. It's less so now, and it's more of a mix. But yeah, because of that, we kind of had to enable, international shipping and strategize around it from the beginning. And that's allowed us to scale very nicely with the help of our warehousing partners.
In terms of you guys as Laughland differentiating yourselves from the products that already exist, have you had to educate your consumers in why your product is better, why they should choose you? How has the journey in making them trust Laughland more than these other legacy brands that they've always seen? How has that been? Would you be able to give us a bit more insight in that regard?
Yeah, and that's one of the big reasons why we chose personalization from the beginning, right? Because we couldn't sell them on the efficacy or how we're better, quote unquote, without having a true differentiation point. And that's where really we began the journey and said that's the angle that we're really going to push out to the consumers that, hey, you can get the same experience you can get at the dentist, but instead of paying hundreds of dollars, just pay us, $59 one time. If you're on subscription, you can pay $30 and then get started. So that's kind of the marketing angle that we've always pushed. And we've had to do a ton of education around it. And we've done that with the help of press, with the help of dentists. We've been able to work with, phenomenal dentists that are willing to go on camera and vouch for the product and explain, how it's one-to-one, like how this is how I do it in the office. And, you can do it too, by working with Laughland. And having authority figures, people who are really experts in the space come out and vouch the products from the beginning has been able to, really sell the consumer on, hey, if you have sensitive teeth, it's not going to hurt. That's the big selling point, right? Instead of using a one size fits all solution, because then that's made for everyone. If you have sensitive teeth, of course it's going to hurt. But the really interesting part that we've learned over the years is the vast majority of consumers are willing to take a little bit of sensitivity to get something even higher. So the marketing angle on the differentiation that has really worked out well for us is telling, the ordinary person or people who without sensitivity like myself, it's telling them that, hey, whatever you can buy from Crest or for another, competitor out there, that's one size fits all. You're actually using something weaker than what you can actually tolerate. So we go up, 40, 50% higher than the competitors out there in the whitening strength. And that's what really does the trick for a lot of our consumers, is because they know, hey, I can get results faster through Laughland than any other competitor out there.
Now I get the brilliant results in as little as 5 minutes a day. It's because then you have a little bit of a big what's it called? A harder punch in the whitening that you guys are able to apply in the product. That's cool because I have had my teeth whitened a bunch of time ago at the dentist. And I must say, it took a while. It took a while, and it was a bit, it did hurt a bit. I feel that back in those days, also dentists had a one size fits all. I think nowadays it must have gotten a little bit more customizable. But that is so cool. And in terms of educating and getting consumers and taking the audience and converting them to an actual paying customer, what has been one of the channels, or if you have many, what have been the channels that have worked the most? I know you mentioned you had some press that was released that consumers read from around the world, and that took you into more of the international shipping space. But from what you know, Wookie, what has been your best channel to handle conversions?
I would have to say it's socials. As much as, CPAs and cost of impressions has gone up over the years, it's still the channel that has the most scale and also has the most amount of conversions for us. So, we spend heavily on, from everywhere from Meta to TikTok. YouTube ads is something that we've started exploring this year. If you know anyone who's super good at it, let me know, because we haven't been able to crack it yet. But but yeah, that's those are the main channels that work for us. But we do a lot of create what I call kind of untraditional, or maybe it's actually traditional marketing, that brings our overall CPMs and CPAs down. So everything from tapping into smaller apps through networks like Nift, where we're offering, we're embedded into apps like Expedia or things like that. So when you buy a purchase, it actually gives you a discount coupon to Laughland products for a limited time. We use that. We also do work with, publishers for newsletters. We're featured in a bunch of newsletters, in terms of ad placements, but also features as well through organic, press.
Okay.
But I would say everything from newsletters, print media, direct mail, all the way down to, like we to being embedded as gifts on random apps. We've kind of tried, all the different ones out there. And we're still exploring, still experimenting to see, is there a healthier way to acquire customers, and because our goal is to meet customers wherever they are instead of, cherry picking our channels. So yeah, retail is also going to be a big focus for us in 2026, and expanding into physical locations and channels. So that's something that I'm super excited about, launching new products into our hopefully physical retail partners.
I love that, man. I love that. And in terms of demographics, like, do you have a certain type of customer that is the one that buys the Laughland products the most? Like, I don't know, people ranging from their 20s to their 30s are the ones that are buying most of what we offer, or anything like that?
So funny enough, when we started, we thought that the branding would really appeal to females ranging from 16 to like 28, like very young, very Gen Z. Funny enough, it ended up being a little older. So it's when it's more 25 to 40 that really loves our products. And I think that's also just by the factor that we don't have exactly the cheapest product in the market. There's a lot of sellers on Amazon and TikTok Shop that are selling unfortunately untested, bogus gimmicky products for $9, $12, $15. So when you factor in the shipping costs, it's really like, how much does this thing actually cost to make? Like, it's almost questionable, problematic to like think about it from like a margin standpoint. If it works at a $9 price, it's probably not made with a lot of care into it.
What do you believe is gonna be, Wookie, the future in how consumers will approach beauty and wellness personalization in the next few years? Do you think this model that you're adopting is something that other companies are gonna start doing as well, and just start providing more of a remote way of diagnosing what they need, or do you think this is something that is just more of the times at the moment?
Yeah, I think that it will play into two factors. I think for certain categories, I think it makes a lot of sense. And we've already seen, large brands be built up, like pros, function of beauty, Curology, brands that are doing, well above $100 million a year that have, really built a strong format, a strong business in personalization.
Okay.
I do think that for personalization, it really makes sense in the higher tier of beauty and wellness. And I think it's seen as more premium. And I think as we kind of get into, the premiumization of wellness and beauty products, I think personalization to an extent will have to be, I think it will have to be table stakes for many brands as more people get into this space. I also do think, though, personalization, it doesn't necessarily mean, hey, take a quiz, tell us about us, talk to someone, and then we'll prescribe it to you. I think personalization can also be played out in making sure that it's not one size fits all. I think, when I think about it, like lipstick brands have done a really good job with personalization. It's not necessarily done to the level of you tell us what you want and we'll make us custom lipstick for you, but they have made every color that's imaginable under the sun. And when you go into the store, the personalization is done for you by the store associates that are asking you what palettes you like, what colors work well on your skin, and then you decide. Personalization has, I think, always existed in everything from retail to commerce from the very beginning of civilization. I think bringing it online has been the challenge, and we've been tackling it in our own way, and some brands are doing the same. But I think personalization at the end of the day doesn't have to mean you take a quiz online or you have to dial a number online in order to get the product that you want. But it's really more so making sure that every customer demographic that you're trying to sell to, you're addressing their unique pain points instead of trying to make something that's 70%, problem solving for everyone on board. We'd much rather make 10, 15 different products that cater to unique oral care health types, to smile goals and needs depending on your sensitivity levels. We'd much rather do that than continue to launch a one product that is supposed to be a magic pill that you take in order to fix all of your oral care needs.
And that also it just raised another question in my head, and it's Wookie. In terms of the whitening, what's it called? Like the whitening product per se, you have these preset levels of whitening that you then decide which should be selected for the consumer in terms of what they replied in their quiz, or is it something that you create based on their answers, and it's just a different formula for each and every consumer?
Yeah, so how it mainly works is we have an array of formulas, tons of different skews and formulations that, is already pre-made. And then you get matched to the right one that, yeah. So that's how the dentists do it themselves too. It's not safe for you because all of these are formulated in FDA registered facilities with the highest, ISO and HACCP certification. If we were to do that impromptu on site, it would be extremely costly without actually yielding, any additional benefit.
And Woogie, about Laughland per se, you guys as a company, how big are you? Like how many employees do you have that are helping you out to run this whole project?
Yeah, so there's only 9 of us currently. We work with tons of contractors, and agencies that help us scale, but using a lot of AI tools internally, it's crazy how efficient our workflow flows have gotten. Everything from customer support, our customer support manager can now handle tasks that otherwise would have taken 5 people to do. We used to hire a customer support agency, and then we decided to bring it in-house. So we do everything, every function as much as we can. We try to do it in-house, but the productivity levels of an individual has gotten, incredibly high. I was just at a design meeting before this, and the mock-ups for designs and prototypes that would have taken us weeks to make. Now, with a click of a button, we can make through AI. So, you know, we've used AI really efficiently across the board in our team. And I think that hiring has gotten almost easy for us because the productivity level of an individual is so high. We don't feel the pressure to overhire or, be kind of constant hiring rush because of that.
I do understand how AI really helps optimize and make more efficient a person's time. And what one employee had to do in mundane tasks for like 4 hours a year ago is now something they can do by the clicking up a button in 5 seconds or less. So it really does make sense. And are you guys planning on expanding anytime soon, or are you where you're at comfortable and just looking to scale the company in terms of sales and consumers and customers rather than looking to hire more people on board?
Yeah. No, we are definitely in a growth phase. We've been growing pretty rapidly over the years, at least double for the last, couple of years now, ever since we've grown. And I think, we're at a really interesting time in our kind of company history and the outlook for it, where our core hero product has been the whitening kit, which has always been more of a premium product. For one time, it's priced at $59. Funny enough, we actually reduced prices this year,
Wow.
due to some supply chain optimizations that we were able to do, which is really helped with our conversions and getting access to more customers. But I think our biggest learning from our price reduction and the benefits from it this year, being able to actually scale while reducing prices, which is almost sounds counterintuitive, but I think our biggest learning was that at a $60 stamp at a price point, we're not exactly mass market. Especially if we consider the entirety of the country. Sure, the 10% of the United States holds most of the purchasing power, now. But we always, when I first started this, there was an article that we read that, the brightness and how straight your smile is one of the easiest indicators of wealth in the United States. Like whether you got braces, whether you get your teeth whitened is one of them. And how inaccessible it was for the average family in America, especially in more rural areas. I hated that. And I think it's time that we go launch more products that are available to the rest, to people that don't want to spend $60 on a whitening kit, even though there's so much marketing that we can do to convince someone to do that. But I think at the end of the day, we want to expand into more and more categories with accessibility being the focus of it. So as much as we can in creating this premium personalization experience, online or in retail channels, I think next year is going to be a pivotal year for us. We're actually launching sister brands for Laughland in multiple categories in kind of the oral care space. Everything from, teeth whitening to, we're exploring toothpaste to mouthwash, floss, and everything in between. We've always wanted to become a holistic oral care brand with the focus in, teeth whitening. So we're taking, bigger steps to do that now that we've have, scale and the resources to launch more products efficiently and, have the marketing and the budget to support that. I think, next year is going to be a pivotal year for us in not only product expansions and sales expansion, but also bringing products to the market that are, at everyone's price point. Instead of positioning as just premium, I think we are going to be launching a lot of products that are, truly mass market.
I'm noticing that we're almost at time, but I did want to give you the opportunity before we finalize the episode to just let anybody who's listening to us know how they can find out more about Laughland's products, how they could go about ordering since it's even worldwide. So anybody who's listening and is interested, how could they make sure to get a hold of your product, man?
Yeah. Easiest way is to visit us on our website for the full personalization experience. Visit us at mylaughland.com. You can find out a lot more about us on our socials, though. You'll see everything from doctor, dentist testimonials to exactly how the whitening process works, why certain ingredients don't we'll also debunk, a lot of myths about whitening on our social channels as well. So all the accounts are under my Laughland on TikTok, on Instagram. You'll find us. And hopefully, you can start your whitening journey with us wherever you are in the world.
Okay, so you heard it here first. Just go to my Laughland in any of the social platforms that you have available, and if not, through their website, you will also be able to find further info. And I know that me, at least, I being an oral hygiene geek, I'll make sure to follow you guys so I can learn everything as well. Sounds super interesting.
Awesome.
But enough, Wookie. Just wanted to say thank you so much for hopping on the episode, for sharing your story with us, and for being able to explain everything that Laughland does. It really is very exciting how much potential you guys have, and I hope to keep seeing you push products and put them on retailers in the future.
Awesome. Likewise, I'm super excited for this, and yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem at all, man. And to everybody who has been listening to us here as well, we appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast, to learn about all the different personalities that we bring on, and also to hear about all the different industries that we're learning about as well. So with that said, thank you very much.